chapter 2. Chapter 2 is talking how we can become a better critical thinker. And there's like 7 different skills that we should strive to be able to accomplish. Some of them are real hard. I think the hardest for most of us is supporting diverse perspectives. In other words, it might be something you don't agree with, but that person has that right to his opinion, and you will support his opinion, whether you agree with that opinion or not. That's just 1 out of 7. So, things you need to think about in chapter 2 is, who is a critical thinker? What does that person look like? And again, in chapter 2, they talk about one of my favorite people, Socrates. He was a Greek philosopher, and I'm sure you've all heard about him. But his main focus was ask questions. Don't be a sponge that you just absorb anything you hear or see without thought about it. In other words, ask questions. Think about what somebody is saying. Evaluate it. Does it make sense? And we'll get into that more of the other chapters. But basically, Socrates was the beginning of the theory of asking questions. Don't just be a sponge, for lack of a better term. Or an active learner. That's another term that is used. All right, once you have read and know the 7 steps of being a critical thinker, look on page 68, and it's a little cartoon, and it doesn't look like much, but you can see there are 3 people in this cartoon, and each have a different perspective of the situation. Why do these people have different perceptions? I know you can figure it out. It's not that hard, but review that, and that goes to show you how, based upon who you are, your circumstances, how you can have a different perception than others when it comes to ideas or thoughts. Another thing, this chapter 2 also gets in and talks about media, the impact of media, how you got to analyze all media. Just don't take it for granted that that's true because it came out of the media, and especially today. Good grief. We got so many what they call fake news stories coming out on Facebook now or on the internet. So you've really got to analyze the perspective that news reporter is giving you. And it's his perspective or her perspective. So analyze it. Don't just sit there and absorb whatever is given to you. Analyze it. Ask what the evidence is. What is the issue? What's the real issue? So in chapter 2, there's also a little story about juris, courts, who's biased and who's not biased. But we'll talk about that a little later. Okay, read chapter 2. Talk to you later.